I was brought up with 60s and 70s music, but never got to experience it live because I wasn't born yet. But I feel like I came awfully close at Borderfest with the crowd last summer watching the Sheepdogs perform. And I'm joined by lead singer Ewan Currie. How's it going?
I'm going great. How you doing?
Doing really good. And I wish you guys could feel what it's like to be in a crowd watching your band, because it's totally different than any other band I've experienced.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, it kind of has that 70s feel. Well, anybody that loves the 60s and 70s, like they're dressed in their hippie gear and their plaid shirts. And if I was going to feel like that Woodstock feeling, it'd be at a show you guys do. And you've got tons coming up, and they're all at small venues right now across Canada.
Yeah, we're doing some kind of soft seaters, as we call them in the biz, little places where our challenge every night is to see if we can get people to stand up from the seats. But no, it's great. I love playing these places. There's it's kind of something I relate to, because in Saskatoon, where I grew up, we didn't get a lot of big acts coming through, or not like a steady stream of bands that I wanted to go see. So when somebody came and played, we really appreciated it. And so we've already done the first leg of this tour out west, and playing places like Fort St. John and Prince George and Grand Prairie and Cranbrook. They're just so stoked that we came to town, and it feels great,
And there's small venues too. You've got a lot of nice theaters, but Wingham, you're going to be playing in their town hall, which is pretty cool.
Okay, right on. I'm excited. I already like the sounds of that.
Yeah, and then you're coming to Chatham, I think, the next day at the Capitol Theatre, and that is a beautiful sounding place, and we can't wait to have you.
Beauty. I like Chatham. We played there a few times over the years.
Yeah, so when you're going to these towns, are you, when you're not playing the venue and setting up and all that stuff, are you going out and seeing the lay of the land or taking in some tourist stuff?
Yeah, all of us we have our routines throughout the day, but typically there's a bunch of spare time where we can kind of go explore a little bit. So it'd be fun, a used bookstore, or some guys like to go, thrift store hunting, or vintage clothes shopping and those kinds of things. And Ricky, our guitar player, loves music stores and looking for guitars. And if it's someplace good to eat, we try to hit that. Or I'm a big Vietnamese food guy, so I always find the pho.
You say you had spare time there, and I don't know how you have spare time, because last year did you do over 145 shows? Australia, Europe, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you're pumping out an album every few years, and you're the main writer, right?
Yeah.
So where do you find time to write? Are you putting notes into your phone? How does that work for you?
I do put notes on my phone. Yeah. I sing a lot of little riffs or hum and, beatbox into my phone. And then, I just collect them all, as I'm on the road. It's hard to write on the road because I need kind of privacy to work on that stuff. And when you're traveling on a tour bus and you're surrounded by people, there's almost no privacy ever.
Right.
And so when I get a chance, we're about to get back on tour here, but I've had some time off, and I went to a studio, and I just went through my notes and just tried to trigger something, find something that got me excited. And when I did, I would just start working on a song, and I would, maybe go and lay a little guitar part down, maybe go sit in the drums and bang a little drum beat out, and then just kind of build up a tune. And that's kind of my process, I guess.
Oh, so you write all the music for all the instruments too when you're writing?
Not necessarily, but when I'm making demos, it helps me to have a little sense of what the song is going to look like, so I need to hear some of the groove, and I try to do as much as I can, but it's not like I'm dictating absolutely every single note,
Right. Back after your famous Rolling Stone cover, Black Keys producer Patrick Carney was working with you, but you're producing the albums as well, aren't you? Now?
Yeah, I produce all of our albums except for the self-titled one that Pat did, yeah.
Did you go to school or anything for music, or was learning as you go?
No, just very DIY. And a lot of it just came out of necessity because, I was always very interested in learning how to record in the studio. It was as simple as when I was younger, I had a computer that I just plugged a crappy little lapel mic into and made little songs on a program called Audacity, which is a really janky kind of recording program. And so I kind of got decent at using that. And then I think eventually I was hanging out with guys that maybe knew how to use Pro Tools a little bit and showed me how to use gear and different stuff. And so recording is really fun. It's and it's pretty cool that in the modern era, you don't have to go and spend a ton of money working at some fancy studio that has, you know, all these giant $20,000 components. You can go and like make an album on your laptop, and you can do all kinds of things that don't cost a lot of money. And so it puts a lot of power in the artist's hands. And that was really cool to me because it lets you focus on songwriting and focus on getting interesting sounds. And that's really freeing.
Just a little behind the scenes. When you guys are doing the harmonizing, when you record that, are you recording it all together, or does each person do their part and then you put it together?
We've done both.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, sometimes parts are really tricky and it helps to separate them out. But we've done things where we do them live, and it's interesting because like different guys have different types of voices. So like like Ryan, for example, he's got a really cutting high voice. So if we're doing a group, we have to put him further back off the microphone, and like a guy like Sam or Seamus, they're a bit more quiet, so they have to go quiet, you know, closer to the mic. But there is something to be had when you have all the guys singing at the same time in a room. There's a little mojo that's happening that's different than just doing it one at a time.
Oh, that's awesome. So for Out of Sight and the albums that you've produced, have you recorded those in the same place, or have you tried different studios? What'd you do there?
Out of Sight, we made it at Taurus Recording in Toronto, which is a place I've worked many times. We did Changing Colors there, and I've worked there with my bros band I have, my brother. And just with the guy who owns and operates it, my friend Tom. He's just a great guy. Pretty comfortable there, but, you know, we're kind of... We also made like our EP, which is called No Simple Thing. We did that in Montreal during the pandemic. And, you know, we made a record in Nashville. I think still our most beloved record, Learn and Burn, which is recorded in Saskatoon. We just recorded that on my computer with really, really rough, basic equipment.
Really?
But it was really the spirit of the thing is really what people connected to. So, and I made a solo record in San Francisco, which was fun because I got to work with a guy that I really admired, Paul Butler.
Okay.
I don't know. There's like no one way to do it. Like there's so many ways to make a record, and it's pretty fun to try different ways. And, you know, we're kind of scheming right now about making our next record, and we're going to do something a little different.
Ooh.
Can't say just yet, but...
So, can you tell me when it's, you know, going to drop, or when we're going to hear the first song off it?
Well, I'm literally writing songs for it right now, so we're still kind of early in the game, but later this year.
Okay, awesome. So, you guys have been together since 2004, so you've been together for 20 years. It really took a lot for you guys, because you're from Saskatoon, to climb up to the top to where you are and be traveling the world with your music. Of course, Rolling Stone magazine helped a little with that contest, and that makes for a really cool story because you guys are the only band that will ever have that story. They haven't done that contest again for the cover.
No. I think it was a one and done situation, but yeah, it was pretty helpful to us.
I know it was a long time ago, and you're probably sick of talking about it because it's like, well, over a decade ago. But when that happened, how was your band touring around? Were you kind of just staying in Saskatchewan or branching out to Ontario and BC and all that around Canada? And then all of a sudden it's like worldwide attention?
We were touring pretty steadily out to Toronto and back. We had gone all the way coast to coast by that point. But then we were starting to hone in on Toronto as the place to hit because it was where the industry was. And, you know, we had seen some gains and we'd gotten some interest, but very minor and very, very slow. And it was, you know, very taxing to go and do these tours and come back broke and go back to working our jobs and try and pick up the pieces. You know, it's a story that happens to a lot of bands, especially from out west, when it's these massive distances to travel. So, yeah, we did a lot of that stuff. We've been to the States a couple times too, with some pretty disastrous results as well. So when we got into the whole competition, it just gave us a ton of attention that we were desperately in need of. And then, yeah, I mean, we did win the thing, but ultimately it was just the beginning of the next phase of our journey. And so that was 13 years ago now. So it's like, somebody told us when we won it, like, the journey is just beginning, you know, there's a lot of work to go. And like even today, like I'm in the studio right now about to kick off a day's work, and we love what we do. We take it seriously, and it's also a job. And so we try to work really hard to make the best use of this real lucky opportunity we've been given.
And you totally have done that. You're going to be playing the same stage Saturday, July 13th with Neil Young. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's damn cool. I'm loving it.
It's going to be so fun to watch, too. We can't wait. Do you have a lot of festivals planned?
I was just going through my calendar. Most weekends we have shows going on. So, yeah, it's looking pretty busy.
So it'll be easy to get tickets for the Sheepdogs. Thanks again, Ewan. It's been great talking to you.
Cheers. Great to talk to you.